Next year, the Football World Cup will be in South Africa. In 2012, the Olympics comes to London, and Glasgow will host the Commonwealth Games in 2014. But this very weekend in Scotland, there's another major championships, although it won't really attract a global television audience. In fact, it's fair to say it's not really a spectator sport at all. I'm talking, of course, of the World Fly Fishing Championships. This year's competition is the 29th World Championship, and incredibly, this is the first year that the competition has been held in Scotland. Given the country's status as a fly fishing mecca, it's rather like the Golf Open Championship being held here for the first time. Alberto Laidlaw is one of the competition organisers, and he was part of the team that secured the championships. I'm curious to discover what it took to successfully mount a bid and how demanding it is to stage an event of this importance.
We had just run a very successful European Championships, and the reality is that the governing body won't let you take on something like the Worlds unless you've, I suppose, proved yourself with the European. So it was comparatively easy. From a tourism perspective, it's pretty phenomenal, and it shows how significant the contribution of fishing is to the Scottish economy. We have 27 countries, and the teams are coming from as far afield as Japan, Australia, South Africa, the States.
Back in May, the Lake of Menteith attracted headlines for all the wrong reasons after hundreds of fish mysteriously died. This place here was in serious danger of missing out as a World Championship venue. After tests, though, thankfully it's been given a clean bill of health, and the lake is once again open for fishing. Quint Glenn is fisheries manager at the lake. He had to deal with the fallout from the fish deaths. After SEPA gave the all clear, Quint then had the added pressure of getting the lake back up and running for the competition. One of the most important tasks is to make sure the lake is stocked with plenty of fish, so he was more than happy to have me come along and lend a hand. So how much of a concern was it when a month or so ago you were discovering a lot of fish dead?
It was a total nightmare. I've worked with fish for 30 years. To have fish dying out in a loch was completely unexpected. And yeah, very concerning in the middle of the season, some very important competitions coming up, but not just that. For the whole businesses or the whole economy of the area is quite closely linked to the Lake of Menteith. SEPA were great. They took loads of samples in the marine laboratory in Aberdeen, sampled for disease, and there was no issue with disease, which was a tremendous relief. And SEPA sampled all the water quality issues, and they couldn't see anything either, which really left only one thing, which was this phenomenon called turnover. In the winter, the top layers of the water are getting chilled and they sink to the bottom of the loch. You get circulation, but in the summer the water at the top remains warm and it's lighter. So it stays there, and the bugs on the bottom will slowly use up all the oxygen and die off. But if you get a return to winter, the loch starts circulating again. We had 2 or 3 nights of frost, and it brought up all this kind of dead stuff from the bottom, which contains kind of gases like ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, and these can be really deadly to fish. It'd be quite interesting if it wasn't so important to everybody's livelihoods around about here.
You've been given a clean bill of health, the competition's back on as well. That must have been a huge relief for you.
The publicity it brings to the lake for the future, and it puts Scotland on the map for fishing in terms of bringing visitors into Scotland. So it's vital, and hopefully we hope things like this can attract in a new life into the sport.
How am I doing, by the way? Am I stressing the fish?
No, you're doing very well.
We'll only get another, 500 or so to go? This competition takes place on 4 lochs and 1 river, but given the fact that's the home water, surely that must give Scotland an advantage. George Mackenzie is the Scotland team manager. George, have Scotland an advantage given the fact they know where they're actually going to be fishing?
I think if they fish to our potential, it'll definitely be an advantage.
You're the manager of the Scotland team. How do you go about preparing your boys for the competition?
What you'll probably do, you'll have a game plan. But it's when the unpredictable happens and that game plan's not worked, then that's when these guys come into their own. They've all got their slight different methods. You can't tell them how to fish. They know how to fish. They've been it, seen it and done it.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of just to push them on and just hopefully the gold will be there.
Well, I think it's a few years until I can even contemplate competition, but good luck to the Scottish team this weekend in the World Fly Fishing Championships.